When you accept yourself, the whole world accepts you. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Real growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself instead of blaming others. The best way to become poor is finding a job that will suck the life out of you. Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing. Love is a choice, not just a feeling. The truth must be served like a coat and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I love the man that can smile in trouble, that can gather strength from distress and grow. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. People who say you can't and won't are usually the ones afraid that you will. Beware of the man who does not talk and the dog that does not bark. Knowledge is a wealth that cannot be stolen. Befriend those who expand your thinking, not just your circle. Freedom is not the absence of commitments, but the ability to choose and commit myself to what is best for me. True greatness begins with understanding your own insignificance. The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it. A man who wants something will find a way. A man who doesn't will find an excuse. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. Sometimes you face difficulties not because you have done something wrong, but because you have done something right. Be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone feels loved and believes in the goodness in people. Don't wait. The time will never be just right. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. To be interesting, be interested. It is better to be alone than in bad company. Death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. You will find that they haven't half the strength you think they have. You are controlled by the one who makes you angry. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Your worst enemy might just be someone you trust the most. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. I find that the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have. Better 50% now than 100% never. The longer a man is lonely, the more he discovers the hidden depths of his solitude and the resilience of his own spirit. Real warriors don't show their hearts until an axe cuts open their chests. A no does not hide anything, but a yes very easily becomes a deception. You'll learn not to care what others think. Time waits for no one. Catch up or get left behind. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Life isn't fair, but it's still good. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. The big lesson in life is never be scared of anyone or anything. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. The past is in your head, the future is in your hands. In the end, some of your greatest pains become your greatest strengths. Believe nothing you hear, and only one half that you see. When you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Don't get intimidated by them. Don't repeat their mistakes. Don't ruin your health in order to earn money. You will end up spending your money to recover your health, and that is not reciprocal. Someone else's progress doesn't make yours any less. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Sometimes there's no right decision to make. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they could be gone. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. If nobody helps you, do it alone. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall, even if you work on you for you. It doesn't matter if you're right. Sometimes the people you hang around will shape your life in more ways than you know. The more wins with fear you can accumulate, the more fearless you will become. Good people are the ones who are played with the most. When men meet foes and fight, a stout heart is better than a sharp sword. When you find yourself in a difficult situation and everything is against, you never give up, because this is the place and the moment when everything will change. You got to love yourself before you can love others. Be empty, and you will remain complete. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You are never in control anyway. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. Success is not the title you have or how much money you make. If your relationships with friends and family are healthy and thriving, that is a success. Don't be discouraged. It's often the last key in the bunch that opens the lock. Sometimes letting go is best, even if you're right. Even the silent man will be instantly respected if he tells the truth. Whether it's a machine, a house, or a relationship, maintenance is always cheaper than repairing. Money grows on skills, not trees. At the end of the day, let there be no excuses, no explanations, no regrets. When you strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Hope is the only good that is common to all men. Those who have nothing else possess hope still. Do the hard jobs first. The easy jobs will take care of themselves. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. You do not need a therapist if you own a motorcycle, any kind of motorcycle. Avoid sex in old age, because at this age, it is safer to use other sources of pleasure. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Creativity is intelligence having fun. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Be so good they can't ignore you. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. The truth is everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. If you can't beat fear, just do it scared. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. Forgiving doesn't make the person who hurts you feel better. It makes you feel better. You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by falling over. The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Remember, some of the best times of your life haven't even happened yet. Opportunities don't happen. You create them. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Being in love is when you want to get old with someone. People treating you poorly is a reflection on them, not you. Focus on the good. Stop waiting for the right time. Time isn't waiting for you. Knowledge is the treasure, and practice is the key to it. Your entire life can change in an instant. So instead of passively taking what you have for granted, be grateful for it and do whatever good you can with it. Your future is your past, which you understand. You attract what you are. If you want to attract better, become better. Do not seek, and you will find. A mistake repeated more than once is a decision. New beginnings are disguised as painful endings. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. If you're going to get angry about something, think to yourself, will I remember this in 10 years? If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you is not much. The things that you consider to be yours own you far more than you own them. Don't ever let the same people disappoint you twice. It is indeed very hard to move on, but once you do, you'll realize it was your best decision. Simplicity is the result of maturity. While we are postponing, life speeds by. If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable. If you want to succeed, you should strike out on new paths rather than travel the worn paths of accepted success. To live life, you need problems. If you get what you want the minute you want it, then what's the point of living? Trusting blindly often leads to betrayal. Letting go is very hard, but it's the best thing to do. Man will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Relax. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. If you want to get rich, think about saving as much as earning. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate and the present, and to mistrust the future. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. Maybe you are not healing because you're trying to be who you were before. No one ever got tired of loving. They get tired of waiting, hearing lies, assuming, saying sorry and hurting. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. Facing your emotions gives you more strength and happiness in the long run than shutting them down or ignoring them. First, it hurts. Then it makes you stronger. The harder your past was, the more beautiful your future will be. Given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind. We don't even know how strong we are until we are forced to bring that hidden strength forward. Without effort and willingness to experience pain and anxiety, nobody grows. In fact, nobody achieves anything worth achieving. Change is inevitable. Progression is a choice. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. The trick is to enjoy life. Don't wish away your days waiting for better ones ahead. We are all a little weird, and life's a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love. You become what you give your attention to. Success or failure depends more upon attitude than upon capacity. It took a long time, but I have learned that you just can't take anything you want out of life without putting something back in exchange. Never let a bad day make you feel like you have a bad life. Doubt can only be removed by action. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow, even if that someone is yourself. Keep your promises. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. Youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty. It is not a lack of time. It is a lack of priority. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. People who do not understand your silence will never understand your words. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. If you want to be trusted, be honest. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. You can't understand everything immediately. Sometimes you need to wait. We aim above the mark to hit the mark. It could always be worse. As long as a man has wine and cigarettes, he can endure a lot. In life, hide your misfortunes, lest you make your enemies happy. Life isn't something you possess. It's something you take part in and you witness. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Small opportunities are often the beginning of great enterprises. You can't change what happened, no matter if it was your fault or someone else messed it up. Don't be mad about it. Deal with the challenge. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. That person doesn't exist anymore because there's a new you trying to be born. You must keep the promises you make to yourself and reward yourself so that you can trust and motivate yourself. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. There are two lives, the natural and the spiritual, and we must lose the one before we can participate in the other. Thanks for watching. To make sure you don't miss any future videos, please click the circular subscribe button in the middle of the screen. You can also check out more videos on the left or our playlists on the right. Don't forget to like and share to help us spread the word. Thanks you.